welcome Wrestle Buddies to the Wrestle Buddy podcast, and it's our special edition prediction show for NXT 2.0 in your house and WWE Hell in a Cell this weekend. Joined by, as always, Jimmy Baby, my brother. How we doing, Jim?
Doing good. Getting ready for this weekend of wrestling events.
Joined by our other brother, the panelist, Nick himself. How we doing, Nick?
I'm good, mate. Really looking forward to Sunday, actually. I think it's going to be a good show.
And if you're looking over on that picture on the bottom left, it's our Cody Zane. How we doing, Zane?
Yeah, I just realized that I'm a dumbass and I could have been using my mic only to do all these podcasts, but for some reason I'm too adamant of not keeping my video on. So I hope that this works and my internet doesn't go to shit.
I'm sure you'll be
working
fine.
so far, mate. But it's worked longer than it has done in a while, I suppose, Zane, hasn't it?
Yeah, it is.
Right, guys, well, let's get straight into it. First of all, let's go through the NXT In Your House pay-per-view. Happens tomorrow night, June 4th. Looks like a solid enough card. Nice to see NXT getting a few specials again. And also, it's nice to see this one coming in on a Saturday night rather than just replacing the normal Wednesday night programming.
Yeah.
What do you think about this coming back now, Jim, on the Saturday nights and stuff like that?
It seems like they finally have a little bit more faith in NXT 2.0 at this point, and they're going to start giving them the shows to, I guess, expand upon that audience. And I guess they're going back on the road as well soon, so that'll help it grow. I think they're very happy with the roster now, and they're willing to actually invest money and time into it to see if it can grow, as opposed to just waiting and seeing, like, okay, is this new version going to work or not?
Yeah. Well, it looks like it's going to work, and it's looking pretty good so far, so it's hopefully only going to go from here, isn't it, Nick?
Well, NXT 2.0 it had a bit of a rough start, didn't it? Let's be honest. But when you've got a roster that's all as green as a gourd, because they're all brand new, you're going to have a bit of a rough start. But they've all had enough time now. They've started to get the reps in. The show's started to get better. I've started to actually watch it now. Which I didn't do when 2.0 first started. But I think it could be a cracking show. They've come along quite a way in a short period of time, and it's really nice to see them going back onto Saturdays. Because like you said, Jim, it's showing that there's a bit more faith left towards the company, or towards the brand, at the very least.
Hi, Dad.
Hi, Grandpa.
Hi, John.
Hope you're feeling better, Dad. Sorry to cut you off there, Nick.
It's alright.
He normally doesn't stay awake that long, so I'll probably jump in and say hello to him before he falls asleep. But no, I totally agree with you. I feel like Nick Khan's really putting a lot into this 2.0, isn't he? It looks like he's had a lot to do with it and stuff like that. But I've said from the start, and I'll say again, I totally am behind it and with them, because as much as you might feel like the product suffered for a little bit, you know, the short time suffering, you're going to see the long time gain on your Jim as it goes forward, and see these people come onto the main roster and whatnot.
As Ciampa pointed out when it first started, he says, give us 6 months and this show is going to be can't miss. And from the people who watch it, from what I see, they absolutely love the show and they stand by it. So it looks like they're finally getting their vision full circle and getting going with what they want to do.
That's it. Well, let's get straight into it, guys. Sorry about if you keep moving me head. I'm just sharing it around Facebook and whatnot for us to people to come and join us, which is always good.
Gotta get them views.
Do one more. And then once we've done that, we'll get straight into the card. Okie doke. So first on the card, we've got Legado del Fantasma versus Tony D'Angelo, stacks and 2 dimes. Good match. I feel like they've missed a bit of a beat with Tony D'Angelo. I felt the fact that they let him beat Ciampa in his last match, paying his dues, which was great, because everyone should do that on the way out or on the way to the main roster, whatever they're doing. That's fine. But since then, I feel like they've dropped the ball a little bit with Tony. I don't feel like they've done much with him. And, you know, being the first match on the card, the first match on the card, he is a little bit... I just feel like they wasted it, you know what I mean, Nick?
Yeah, it's like when he beat Ciampa, I thought they were going to strap the rocket to his back and see where he went, because Ciampa was the biggest deal in NXT at that point. And now it's just, I've got a feeling they're going to lose this match to Legado del Fantasma, and he really shouldn't, Tony's great. I mean, he's got a very interesting character. Being a mafioso in 2022 is quite an interesting way of doing things. But now that he's got his crew with him, I'm hoping that they're going to start pushing it in a more generalised direction, where he's got more focus on what he's doing rather than just going from match to match to match. Actually start having him focus on a storyline where he's trying to build a power base, or either way make his way to the championship, and however he ends up a breaker, we don't know. But I don't know. It's just, it seems like he's been floundering for about 2 months now with nothing much to do. And I'd like to see him pushed a bit further, because I like Tony. He's a good character, he's a good talker, and he's not half bad in the ring.
Yeah, well, that's it, isn't it? And I love this character, Jimmy. I think it's like a throwback to the early 90s and the new generation type of character. But it fits really well in 2022, as Nick said. Do you feel like they dropped the ball with him a little bit since the Ciampa win?
I haven't been paying enough attention to really, I guess, give an honest take on it. I can tell by the few episodes I have watched, it doesn't seem like he's as big a deal as he was when he came in through the vignettes, because he was hyped up and people were really behind him. They were like excited about this character, and now it just kind of seems like he's another character on the roster. I would imagine jumping from a Ciampa win to just a feud that takes him nowhere would do that to you. I don't think there's many people that could survive something like that. But we'll see where it goes from this. It could go one of two ways depending on who wins the match. If Tony wins the match, I think this could be beneficial for him in the long run, as far as his whole mafioso gimmick, as you pointed out. But if he loses, I think that really hurts him. So we'll see come in your house how the Tony D'Angelo project is working.
And Legado del Fantasma, they look like they're a really good team. They've been, they're about to feel like. Do you feel like there's more for these, Zane?
Yeah. Here's the thing. I watched the recent segment that Tony D'Angelo had with Legado del Fantasma, and to be honest, I really enjoyed it, because the deal here with them is that if Legado del Fantasma wins, then Angelo's crew comes under them, and if D'Angelo wins, then
His internet went poop. The second we gave him the opportunity to talk.
It's always what happens.
Even the internet, the sharks don't want to hear what this man has to say.
You still there, Zane, or we lost you for good?
You lost me until 12:15.
Oh, you're there now. Go on.
I was saying the segment was. Yeah, I was saying that the segment so far has been entertaining. The feud has been entertaining. I just want to see if they deliver on the pay-per-view or the premium live event, whatever you call it.
Okay, well, let's have a little look at this then. So, David says Tony has a lot of potential. Ashton, obviously missing Samantha, Ciampa should come with AJ and Finn. That would be cool. Good man, well done, son. Okay, so let's have a little vote on this one then. I'm going to go with Legado del Fantasma. I feel like they're the ones that are the stable here. I feel like they're the ones that need this win here. Be interesting to see how it pans out, Jim.
I'm going to go ahead and say that Tony wins here, and because the stipulation is they have to join the other faction, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
I see this being an exit for Santos Escobar to head up to the main roster, and then the other members of Legado del Fantasma just be a member of Tony's mob. That's where I see this one playing out.
Yeah. Interesting, Nick.
A question. Has Fabian Aichner joined Tony yet?
Nope.
No. In that case, I'm going with Tony because of Fabian Aichner.
Hey, Zane?
He picks Cody Rhodes.
Zane? Oh,
Put it in the
you
private chat,
Zane?
I'll say your answer for you. Zane just sent me a message and said that what Jimmy said was spot on, and yeah.
D'Angelo. That's who he's gone for, D'Angelo. Okay. Right, okay, let's move on to our second match then, which is the one of the first championship match of many, because every belt's on the line after this. We've got the tag team champions, Toxic Attraction, versus Katana Chance and Kaden Carter. I don't see anything but a Toxic Attraction win here. I love them. Think they're brilliant. Think the whole way with Mandy Rose. It just shows you when WWE get creative and they kind of do something with you. Mandy Rose has been transformed and she's been excellent since she's been in NXT. And I feel like it's done her the world of good. And when she comes up to the roster, I just hope they bring them up as a threesome and they all stay together. What's your thoughts, Jim?
Yeah, I think what'll be interesting here is if they plan on doing the women's tournament on the main roster, I think Toxic Attraction has to be a part of that because I think they're the most, as far as tag teams and women's wrestling go, I think they are the only real tag team they have at this point. Casey and Caden as well, but Toxic Attraction is the one. So I think everything they've done with Toxic Attraction, from what I've seen, has been good. Barring the segment on Tuesday, that was really just awful. But I think that was just the segment itself. It had nothing to do with Toxic Attraction. The presentation, it's getting reactions. Mandy Rose, it's elevated her, and in the process, it has elevated Gigi and JC Jane. So the whole thing has been a success. And it's a women's tag team that's actually being celebrated and pushed on TV and everything. So that's good. That shows they can do it if they put their mind to it.
Do you see, Nick, this is one for you, if they go to the main roster for the women's championship match, which could happen, do you think Toxic Attraction go together as they are, or do you think one of them gets dropped and Mandy takes the place and then they come up as a duo rather than the three of them together?
I think they go as they are. I mean, Gigi and Jane are so good together. They've got incredible chemistry as a team, considering they were brought together from quite extenuating circumstances. And as you were saying, Mandy's done such a good job since she's been rebranded on NXT that I think putting her back in a tag team, I know the technical theory is she's a bigger star, so it puts more eyes on the team. But I think it does her a disservice by putting her back in a tag team. Mandy deserves to be a single star. And those other two have worked so hard in the tag division that I think it'd just behoove the company to have them pushed. Absolutely pushed. If they don't win the tournament, I think it's a fool's errand.
Yeah, and the thing is, as I said, I don't believe that they should be split up as a tag team or put Mandy should replace one of them, but we know how WWE works and they might look at it and think, well, Mandy's the one that we want in that tag team, and they kind of just do that. So that was just a little thought there. Hopefully it doesn't happen. I'm with you both. I agree they should stay as a triple, but
they did with Imperium.
Yeah, exactly. So, right, let's go for it then. Toxic Attraction, Katana Chance, and Caden Carter. Jimmy?
Off the idea that they are going through with this tag tournament, I'm going to say that Casey and Caden win here. Just on that fact alone. I don't think they should. I think Toxic Attraction is better, but I'm just going off that. I think they're getting called up. So,
Nick?
I'm going to stick with Toxic Attraction. I think they've done some fantastic work, and I don't think they're ready to take the belts off him yet.
Okay, I agree with Jimmy. I think they have to be part of that tournament, and I think Katana Chance and Caden will win the belts on this one. Right, on to our next one. We've got NXT Tag Champions Pretty Deadly up against the Creed Brothers. There's been a lot of controversy going around with the NXT Championships at the moment with the tag teams. Obviously, what happened before this one, which was kind of sad and stuff like that. Jim, what's your thoughts on this match?
I don't know enough about Pretty Deadly. I've seen them like twice now, again because I don't really follow NXT that much anymore. But it would be crazy to think they're doing this match and those guys don't win just because they're new there and they just won the titles. But at the same time, were they there just to replace MSK to get the Creed brothers over? Don't know. I think the styles, based on what I have seen, I think there'll be a great clash. You're going to have power against what Pretty Deadly does. So I think it'll be fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it'll be a great match. It's probably going to be the best match of the night, looking at the card. So, yeah, I'm actually, this is one of the few matches on this card I'm going to make sure I watch.
Yeah. Okay, well, I think on this match as well is the Creed brothers for me are the ones that should be carrying the belt, but Pretty Deadly may have been at first a kind of a transitional champion, but the way that they've been since they've carried the belt is kind of got me thinking differently now. Nick, what's your thoughts on that?
Well, I got to see a lot of Pretty Deadly in NXT UK in Progress when they first started breaking out, and those boys are really, really good when they're given a chance. Like, they really are. They've got some proper skills behind them. But I've just got the feeling that they're holding those belts for the Creed brothers. I think the long-term plan was for the Creed brothers to have those titles in the first place, and I think they were supposed to be MSK, but obviously what happened with Nash Carter happened, and now it's not moving on. I think Pretty Deadly have done a really good job holding on to the belts, and they've managed to establish themselves in quite a short period of time during a difficult situation, but I've got a feeling it's all for the Creed brothers tomorrow.
Okay, interesting. Right, let's vote on this one then, guys. I'm going to go first. I am going to see the Creed brothers. Jim?
I think Pretty Deadly is going to keep it when Roderick Strong has something to do with the Creed brothers losing.
Okay.
Nick?
I'm going to go with the Creed brothers.
Okie doke. Awesome. Right, so let's move on now. We've got the North American Championship match. Cameron Grimes versus Carmelo Hayes. Sorry, babes, before we go on to this one. Wrestle buddy Alex, the Invisible Hand, says Pretty Deadly will retain. Most likely they will have a heel run till the NXT takeover, and then Creed brothers will have their big moment on SummerSlam weekend takeover.
Okay.
Could be.
Good theory.
Be good if they done that. Go fair in, it's a good work, definitely. Yeah, but as we go back to our North American Championship match, we've got Cameron Grimes versus Carmelo Hayes. Was so chuffed for Cameron when he won the belt at NXT TakeOver WrestleMania. So happy for him. Thought it was brilliant. Do you think he's only a short-term champion, Jim, or do you see him moving on?
I don't see him being short-term. I don't see him losing to Carmelo Hayes. I think it would be kind of silly to have Carmelo win it again and be a two-time champion when he is clearly the best next opponent for Braun Breaker. So it doesn't make sense for him to win this title unless they just want to keep him stagnant for a while. I think it'll be a great match. I think it'll help it sounds crazy to say this because of how long he's been there and how good he is and how well known he is. I think it'll help elevate Cameron Grimes as a champion by winning against Carmelo Hayes because of how well received Carmelo has been in his short time there. He's already looked at as one of the best there. So that'll help Grimes get a little bit more over, and then that'll help when the Solo Sikoa thing happens. That'll help Solo Sikoa get over with Cameron Grimes being elevated.
Yeah, and I think Cameron Grimes is one of them where he's always going to be there or thereabouts, isn't he, Zane? I don't think he'll ever challenge for the NXT Championship, but I think he'll go to the main roster before that. But he's definitely going to be a solid mid-carder, isn't he, Zane?
Yeah, I feel like he's a lot more.
Isn't he, Nick?
Yes, I agree with you. I believe that Carmelo's probably going to get called up to the main roster before he challenges Breaker for the title because Carmelo is... carry on, Zane, you're back.
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. This time it was me intentionally. Yeah, so I was saying that Grimes is a lot more main roster material than he is NXT material, and I feel like this might be his opportunity to ride the boat onto the main roster.
Right, so it's his last opportunity before he goes to the main roster. I think that was the gist of it.
I think the gist of that was he thinks Cameron Grimes is losing because Cameron Grimes is going to get moved up to the main roster because he thinks he fits on the main roster more than he fits in NXT.
Yeah. Make sure you put your mouth next to your microphone, Zane.
And don't put it in your mouth.
Yeah, don't chew on it, buddy.
Are you there?
Nope.
Zane, no. No. Right, let's have a little bit of a vote on this match then. So first of all, Jim.
Cameron Grimes in a really good match. The other match that I will make sure that I check out from the show.
Zane.
Cameron Grimes.
Nick.
Cameron Grimes.
I think Grimes retains here too. I do, but it'll be a good match either way, and it's going to be a fun match. Whether they go for the straight up finish or whether there's a bit of a screw here or something that goes on, who knows? Right, we'll move on to our NXT Women's Championship match. We've got Mandy Rose versus Wendy Chu. Solid match. I think there could have been other people that went for this title instead of Chu. Not really too sure why she's there, but yeah.
The crowd seems to like her.
I mean...
that?
The crowd seems to like Wendy. I'm not on board with it. I don't get it, but the crowd...
What, right? As I said over Madcap Boss, there's certain gimmicks that I just don't get. And I don't get why Wendy Chu is a woman with narcolepsy that wrestles.
Yeah.
That appears to be the storyline. This lady has narcolepsy, she can't stay awake, and she wrestles. And then she hits people with soft toys and super soakers. I can't see Mandy losing this match in any way, shape or form. Like,
No.
I think Wendy Chu's hilarious, I really do, it makes me laugh. But I do not see her as a serious contender for the NXT Women's Championship, I'm sorry.
No.
But, oh no, no, Mandy has to retain.
Yeah. Don't really see anything else to really discuss about this match. I can't see any other outcome apart from Mandy retaining. Jim, what's your thoughts? Well, Zane's on another one.
What the heck's going on here?
Hello, Zane.
I was. Is my audio fine?
It's a bit
Sounds
scrappy.
okay, yeah. Bit scratchy, but
Sounds better than it did.
Yeah. I'm just gonna stick to the YouTube live chat.
Okay.
Goodbye, guys.
Yeah. David
Alright,
McIntosh describes is a very solid mid card, really fun on the good and away. He is really fun, mate, and he'll be a solid mid carder on the main roster as well. In my eyes, he'll be someone that you can look to, and you can kind of go back and forth with. Right, so let's all vote on this one then. Mandy or Chu, Jim?
Since I went with Toxic Attraction losing the tag titles, I'm going to go with Mandy losing her belt as well as they get called up to the main roster. Because SmackDown needs women wrestlers desperately right now.
Yeah. Nick?
I can't see Mandy losing this belt to Wendy. I just can't. So I'm going to go with Mandy.
Well, do you know what I'm gonna go with? Yeah, is somehow Mandy ends up on the floor and Chu falls asleep on top of her.
I will give you a $5 if that happens. Just because I will be entertained so highly by this fact.
Yeah. Zane says Mandy retains. She's been there for a while. David also says Mandy retains as well. Yeah, I think you've got a good argument, guys. But I don't know. It might be time to get them up to the main roster. As Jim says quite rightly, SmackDown needs some women there.
Yeah.
I think also the tag teams and the kind of whole faction thing as well would be a good thing. You know, I tell you what, it wouldn't be a bad thing to throw Toxic Attraction in with Judgment Day.
Not necessarily, no. I mean, you'd have to change the characters around a little bit.
I think Gigi would fit in with them well. I don't know about Mandy and maybe JC Jane as well.
Yeah. I mean, the thing is, you could keep Toxic Attraction as it is, and maybe if they start picking some people up for Judgment Day, then they can have a bit of a rumble with Toxic Attraction. Could work out that way.
Yeah,
Jimmy's picks are worse than my internet.
My picks have logic behind them, dummy.
Right, okay, so we don't want to move on to our main event of In Your House, and we move on to Hell in a Cell. First, we've got Bron Breakker versus Joe Gacy. Going to be a good match, I think, but I don't see any other thing apart from Bron Breakker retaining. Jim?
I just hope it's better than the last one because I actually tuned in for that last one, excited about it, and it was not good at all. I don't think that's anything to do with Joe or Braun. I think they just don't have chemistry. And from a little bit I've seen of this program, feud, whatever you want to call it, it has not been good. So hopefully they get a good match at the In Your House and then it's over with because I don't think they need to be together anymore.
Nick?
I just hope Breakker gets this done with and moves on. Like Jim said, this feud has been trash. Like it's been badly written, it's been badly produced, the segments have been garbage. And it's not done Breakker any favours being... Look, I don't have a problem against Joe Gacy, but I don't like Joe Gacy as much as I don't hate Joe Gacy. He's just there as part of the roster. And I feel like your opponent for your champion shouldn't be a guy who's just there. Yeah. It should be somebody that people go, ooh, maybe. Whereas I don't think there's a snowball's chance in hell that Joe Gacy beats Bron Breakker in this match.
They've ruined his character with this feud.
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. Okay, Zane says Joe Gacy knows how to get a title shot, kidnap the champion's dad, and you're set for a while. Well, let's vote on this one then, Jim.
Yeah, no way Bron Breakker loses this match. No way.
No, 100%. 100% Bron Breakker.
Bron Breakker. Well, anyway, that's on tomorrow night, guys. Make sure you tune in. It's on WWE Network or Peacock, the cock in the US. I think it's only the cock in the US, isn't it? Disney Plus in
Yeah.
India. There's, it's a. Or is it? Sorry, it's not Disney Plus in India yet, is it?
No, I think the next place it's going to be is in you guys' hometown.
Yeah.
Ah.
Yeah, it's all right because we get it for no. You get it on Disney Plus.
Over
yeah, we've already got Peacock.
We've got the cock.
Oh, you don't have to get it though.
No.
No, we've still got the network. They haven't got the rights to the cock over here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So we still got the network, which is great.
Yeah.
Okay, then, guys. Let's move on to the main roster pay-per-view on Sunday. Hell in a Cell. At the moment, we've only got 6 matches. Could get some added to it, maybe one more, maybe 2. Does make me mad having 6 or 7 matches on the card. I'm kind of happy with that. I think it's just quite level-headed. My only gripe with this pay-per-view, and I said this to you before, Nick, is the fact that it's called Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, and you've only got one Hell in a Cell match on the whole pay-per-view, which is a bit
lackluster, to say the least.
Yeah. But the whole card looks okay. It does look okay. Yeah. Some of the matches are a bit, but there's some. In terms of, I mean, we said that, didn't we, after WrestleMania Backlashes, if they're going to put on good wrestling matches on these B pay-per-views, then we're happy enough with it. And if you actually look at the matches that are on there, all of them have got a potential to be a really good match.
I mean, if you look at, we managed to predict a couple of the matches when we did our prediction show, Jim, which would be the Judgment Day versus Finn, Liv, and AJ, which I'm really looking forward to because I hope it's Rhea's time to shine. I really hope it's Rhea's time to shine in that match. And I'm a massive Cody fan. I'm a massive Seth fan. I'm chuffed that's in the cell. But I do feel like there needs to be another Hell in a Cell match on this pay-per-view. They should be bookending the show. They should be opening with one, closing with one. Otherwise, why call it Hell in a Cell? It's just a normal pay-per-view that's got a Hell in a Cell match on it.
So I seen something interesting before, guys, as well, and this is what I'm kind of hoping out of SmackDown tonight. Do you know if the Intercontinental Championship is not defended on this pay-per-view? It's been 17 consecutive pay-per-views without a title defense from the Intercontinental belt. So I'm hoping we might get another one of them put into. And I'm also very sad that Sami Zayn's on the card.
I think the Intercontinental title match gets added tonight. I think that's the one match that's going to get added.
Do you see the Usos RK Bro running back?
So apparently I just read before we got on that match is actually taking place on SmackDown tonight. So if something wonky happens, then they'll do a rematch at the pay-per-view and they'll probably put it in the cell. But I like the idea of one cell. I'd like the idea of one Hell in a Cell match.
Well, I can tell you exactly that's going to go tonight. There's going to be that match. Roman Reigns is going to interfere and they're going to put them in the cage to keep Roman out.
Yeah, that would be how I did it.
I've just checked online, and apparently the Raw Women's Championship is also in a cell.
Since when?
I'm on WWE's website now, and it's not.
Oh, I was on CBS.
CBS doesn't know what they're talking about.
No, I'm actually on WWE's
I really
website
hope that
as
triple
we
threat,
speak.
the triple threat isn't in the Hell in a Cell. I really hope not.
No, I don't think it needs to be.
I don't think it's going to be, guys.
If there's another one, it'll be the Usos versus Riddle and Knock.
Yeah, that'd be good.
No, it doesn't say anything here about Hell in a Cell. Just says triple threat.
Yeah.
Okie doke. Well, let's start off then, guys. First match we've got on the card. By the way, guys, this is in no order. This is just what the WWE website says. So it doesn't mean that it's going to be the running card. So don't come at me. Zayn says, do you reckon a Hell in a Cell match is a night tonight? Yeah, I think the Usos versus RK Bro. I think in that match tonight, Roman cuts them off somewhere, Zayn. Then they put them in the Hell in a Cell to keep Roman out. Makes perfect sense. Happy with that. Right, so first match we've got United States Champion Theory versus Mustafa Ali. Looking forward to this match again. What do we say about B pay-per-views and the wrestling being the main focus and whatnot? This match to me could be a banger. Couldn't it, Jim?
Absolutely, because we all know Mustafa Ali is a great wrestler. Like his technical abilities are through the roof. We just don't get a chance to see it. This is the first pay-per-view match he's had in a very, very, very long time, and it's with a young talent that can actually keep up with him. So I expect this match to just be lights out. And as we pointed out, like we expect this pay-per-view to play out like WrestleMania Backlash, where they let the wrestling be the show.
Yeah.
And when you have two talents like that, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be amazing. I'm really looking forward to this match.
Okay, and as I said, it could be really good. Don't see a title change here, Nick, but I do see, as I said, a belter match. These two guys are really young pups, aren't they? We're coming up, and it in my eyes, putting Theory with Mustafa Ali is a good thing because it shows a different side to him and gives him a different dynamic, does it not?
Yes. I mean, Theory so far has just been Vince's protege, and that's how he's been introduced to everybody. This is going to give him a chance to say, I'm not just Vince's protege, I'm also a banging wrestler. Because Austin Theory is really, really good. If anybody caught his stuff from Evolve before he got signed, the kid's got talent. Right? Like, this should be possibly the best bell-to-bell match on the card if they're given enough time. Like, it really should. Ali is a phenomenal worker. Theory is great when he's given enough time and the chance to work with. And I think this match should do nothing but elevate Theory as champion.
Awesome. Okay, well, either way, I think it's going to be a banging match. Zane's just put here, Theory's been teasing stuff with John Cena, and there's rumours that he faces him at SummerSlam. What are your thoughts on that? Nothing but good things about that, mate. I'd love to see that match. I think
Yes, please
the
give me
whole
that
Theory
match.
being, if you incorporate Vince McMahon into the storyline, it makes it even better.
Yep.
John Cena doing his thing, elevating people. No problem with that at all. Nothing but respect for Cena. Obviously, SummerSlam's the 20 years of Cena. Cena's synonymous with the United States Championship belt as well. So, basically,
It
all
all
the stars
fits.
are aligning.
It
All
all
the stars
fits.
are aligned. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's go on this one then. Theory, Mustafa Ali. Jim?
Theory for sure, because if he's going to match with John Cena, he can't be taking losses.
Yeah. No. So, Nick?
Theory. That kid's got the rocket strapped to his back and he ain't landing anytime soon.
Yeah, awesome. Okie doke, second match on the card again. As I said, this is just how WWE have got it on their thing. Doesn't mean it's the last card, the way the cards will pan out. We've got Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and Liv Morgan versus the Judgment Day of Damian Priest, Edge, and Rhea Ripley. One thing I've always said, I think I said this to you, might have been last year, Jim. I can't remember when it was, but it kind of troubled me, the lack of stables in WWE, and we were talking about how back in the day the Nation elevated The Rock, DX with Triple H, and so forth and so forth. It just wasn't there for a long while. They just didn't really want to do factions or anything like that. Well, they're back in a big way, are they not?
Yeah, absolutely. And as much as I don't really care for Judgment Day, I'm not going to knock it because of the fact it is putting Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley in high-profile situations. And I'm not ever going to be mad at the fact that Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley are being given more opportunities because they're fresh and they're really damn good. So I'm all for that part of it.
Yeah, and it's also on the flip side of it. It's brought Finn Balor, AJ Styles, and it's given Liv Morgan a little rocket to it being associated with AJ and Finn at this time, is it not?
Well, AJ realistically elevates every single person he's ever worked with. That's what he does better than most people of his generation. Finn is a great hand. He really is. I don't think he's ever going to get to the world title again. But as far as putting him in a match to make sure that the other team looks good, you can't really fail. Damian Priest is fantastic. Rhea Ripley, as I said before, I really hope this is Rhea's chance to shine. The ideal, I don't think it's going to happen, but I think she should pin Finn.
Yeah,
That's just there. I think Rhea Ripley should pin Finn Balor in this match to make her look like an absolute killer to set her up for Bianca Belair at SummerSlam.
I think she pins AJ. I think AJ would be more willing to take the pin.
That'd work too.
I'd be
fine with that.
Vince would sign off on that one. I think he's going to protect AJ a lot more than he's going to protect Finn.
Yeah. Well, it depends on how long Finn's got left to how long AJ's got left, doesn't it?
Well, AJ just re-signed earlier this year, so he's not going anywhere.
AJ's not going nowhere.
And again, you could realistically get another main event run out of AJ Styles, a real main event run. I don't think anyone sees Finn getting a main event run in WWE ever again. So,
do we see a new member of Judgment Day added to the group on this?
Maybe.
Okay.
The
Who do
question
we
is
think?
who?
Go
I
on,
don't
Jim.
know. I can't tell you. I'm trying to pick someone that hasn't been teased by Edge because I feel like he's gonna do the Seth Rollins thing. He's gonna post everyone but the real person. So I don't know who it could be, but there's a lot of people he could pick.
I mean,
So,
Ciampa seems like the obvious choice, but at the same time, does Ciampa need to be in Judgment Day? I don't think he does.
It doesn't fit Ciampa's narrative.
No.
It's got to be someone who like with Rhea and Damian and Edge, how it all started. He was doing the things for the fans, and it wasn't working out for him, so he had to switch it up and focus on himself. So
Well, in that case, you could have Finn switch.
You could.
Okay. Do you know who I think it's going to be?
Go on.
Bray Wyatt.
No.
Ooh.
Right. Just before you say
that's
this,
a deep.
Jim,
That's a deep
I'll
cut. That is,
listen.
Andy.
You can entertain me. I'll listen.
Right. This is said Bray Wyatt's Twitter at the moment. Yeah. He's changed his thing to Wyatt 6, Wyndham 6. Yeah.
Yeah.
Patience. It's almost time. I'm tired of watching, tired of being speculating I perceive. Again, believe in me, yeah. There, and he goes on, yeah. Now, he's changed his thing since yesterday, Bray Wyatt, because he had it as 666.
Yeah.
And the date added up to be the Monday after Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
And I feel like he comes out with a mask on or something happens at Judgment Day to pop that about, and then after that we see him come fully back in Monday Night Raw.
I could see that.
And then what I think is long term, he somehow usurps Edge out of the group and takes over.
Well, he is the
Somewhere
ultimate.
along the
He is the ultimate cult leader in WWE.
Yeah.
No,
I think
that's
somewhere along the line they turn round or he kind of comes in, like a bit of a Farouk Rocky story.
Yeah.
And because obviously Edge is not full time all the time, is he? So
No.
I think eventually you'd have to kind of scope whether you bring in Wyndham to take over or Wyatt to take over that group, or to keep it running while Edge is not there, and then say to Wyatt, well, if you're part of this group with Edge, you can both be there at certain points, then he can be there and you don't have to be. You can be there and he doesn't have to be, and it kind of works out for everyone. So there's a way for it to work there by putting them in another kind of group, and it's a fresh new group, which so I don't know. I do feel like there's a chance.
The only reason I don't see that happening is because if Wyatt comes back, he is over as fuck as a babyface, and it doesn't work with that group. That's my only reservation with that whole idea. I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I'm not saying it's not even a situation that could happen. But to me, it just doesn't make sense for him to go in knowing that he's going to get the pop he's going to get. And there's no way fans are going to turn on. They miss him. They love this man.
Oh yeah.
So
well, maybe that's part. Maybe that's part of the thing. No, with him, Jim, because you know what? Bray's like he loves the whole trying to turn it around and the psychology of it all and stuff. And he might look at that and go, "This is my challenge. Bang, let's get it done."
So if anything, if this was to happen, how I could see it happening and logically makes sense to me is if Bray Wyatt returned and he went to feud with Edge and this whole group. And then during that feud, during the match or whatever, he takes over, he takes control, and then Edge gets the boot and they follow him. That's how I would see it, but I just don't see Bray getting involved with this if he's returning. Go ahead. Let's see what Zane has to say here. You want to make a bet, Zane? No, I'm not making a bet because I think Bray returns, just not in this.
Okay, well, David made a good point here. Bray, AJ, Finn, and Liv, maybe. They might need a leader. He could come in as the leader.
Maybe, but I don't see
Possible.
Bray fitting with AJ.
Bray, Finn, and Liv, I can see. I don't see Bray, AJ, Finn, and Liv. AJ, I don't think works in this kind of thing. It doesn't work.
No. Okay. Well, we've got saying feel like a new member's going to get added to the Judgment Day. Odds on it being either one of them from Finn or Liv returning up at the PFU.
T-Bar.
Don't see it.
T-Bar, please be T-Bar.
Gacy could fit. Yeah.
No, Gacy does not make any
Ciampa.
sense, Zane. Are you not listening to the words that are coming out of my mouth? Gacy.
I think with Ciampa at the moment, David, I disagree with that. I think Ciampa's one of them that at the moment he's just floating around, isn't he? He needs to find some purpose at the moment. And
Yeah.
But being in this group, it doesn't work for him. Like that's my whole thing.
No.
No. I want things to make sense, and I'll gladly turn a blind eye to certain things. But Ciampa joining this group doesn't make sense to me. Joe Gacy, I see a lot of people saying Joe Gacy. Doesn't make sense to me.
I mean, if you're going to start these groups up, then we might get that kind of whole. A lot of other factions will pop up from nowhere to feature the Bloodline, to fight with the Judgment Day. There's a lot of things you could do with them nowadays, and you might see a couple of them pop up now. Well, hopefully not like the old WCW days. Let's just keep that
trios. I want to see a bunch of trios because WWE does 3 matches wonderfully.
Okie doke, right. So let's vote on this one then. Nick, we've got Finn Balor, AJ, Liv Morgan versus Judgment Day. Pick.
I never usually vote against AJ, but I'm going with Judgment Day.
Okie doke, Jim.
I'm going with Judgment Day, but I'm a little bit irritated over the fact that one of them has to take a pin because I don't think any of them should be taking a pin.
Okay, I'm going to go with Judgment Day for the screw finish with a new person in there. Okay. Zayn says, MJF Judgment Day. Amanda, Zayn, if he loses the bet, ask Jimmy to skydive. Is that your woman turning on you there, Jim?
No, she's just trying to force me to go skydiving. I have a thing. I've just been waiting to go.
Why would you want to jump out of a plane?
Because it's going to be fun.
Not? It's boss, mate. I used to be in the parachute regiment, didn't I? That's what I used to do all the time.
And I think you're insane.
I think it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be awesome.
I don't even like to fly.
Boss. Well, aren't you a douchehead? Jumping out of a plane, mate, is one of the best things you will ever do. Ever, period.
Hold on.
I'll take your word for that.
Zayn. When the tattoos come out on WWEshop.com, I'm buying 365 of them. One for each day of the year. I can be able to tell it's a fake tattoo.
I've got my own, Andy. I've always had the neck tattoo. But the good thing about mine is it does actually, when I wear an office shirt, it does actually cover it. When I have my shirt tie on, so you can't see it.
You don't have the red, white and blue sticking out on the sides.
No. When I've got a shirt on, it does cover it up so I can go about my day-to-day office activities without looking like a cozy notes. All right, let's move on. So we got Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens. Do you know what? Kevin Owens, bravo, because do you know when somebody says getting chicken shit and turning it into chicken salad? Well, this is it. This is the perfect thing. Yeah. And Kevin Owens throughout this whole thing has just been brilliant. There's been memes on the internet and all like that, but it was all drove by Kevin Owens. Like, what? This is you. This is you.
It doesn't work with anyone else.
Nope.
No.
Maybe Sammy. It doesn't work with anyone else.
No. Kevin is fantastic at his job.
Yeah.
The guy just gets it in so many levels, and there's not a lot of people that could have been given this storyline over the years and managed to make it entertaining and popular and make it a pay-per-view match that I actually care about. Brain Dupree's group.
But with Kevin, I think this is just a testament that shows it doesn't matter what you give Kevin Owens, he's going to give everything he has into it. And I think the product could be a lot better if a lot more talent treated everything like Kevin Owens treats everything. Some people are like the quote today where Jeff Hardy said the 24/7 title, he just felt it was beneath him. Bro, play your part and things happen. And if people actually put the dedication that Kevin puts in to this silly-ass storyline that should not have worked at all. It should have been dead on arrival. And because Kevin Owens put everything he has into it, it has worked, and it has been one of the most entertaining things on Monday nights. So
it really has. I totally agree with you, Jim.
I love Kevin.
And just for all, before you throw your kids' kisses out there, listen to your missus and do what she's telling you to do, mate.
She wants me to get the Cody tattoo. That ain't happening, bro.
Right, guys watching, do we think that Jimmy should get the Cody tattoo? In the comments, let's tell him.
Jimmy, just get a different one. Get a skull with a crown on the top.
No.
Like a Drip King tattoo.
No.
Amanda.
Drip King tattoo.
Right, Amanda, if I start a tweet and say, how many likes do I have to get before you'll force him to get it done? How many likes do we think that he should
Bro,
commit to
stop.
before we say that he
I'm
could
about
get
to
it?
kick you out
No,
of the
no.
thing.
I'm gonna put a poll up on Twitter.
Well, let's do one of them things. If we get 2,000 likes, our mate's gonna get the cozy tattoo on him, and let's see how many we can get.
That'd be amazing.
You know,
Do it,
I'd
Jimmy.
rather- I'd rather get the Cody tattoo, Zane. Get out of here with that.
Oh, right. KO and Zeb. They are two of the most consistent guys, and do you know what? I think as time goes on, the two of them will get pushes again because I think Vince will realise that the two guys that he can rely on.
Yeah.
And you know, sometimes it takes Vince a little bit of time to get there with these type of people, but once he gets there,
The
they
one
always
thing
do well out of it.
the one thing that will prevent either one of them from ever being a world champion, though, is the fact that neither one of them will do a Saudi show.
Mm-hmm.
So even if they did get a title reign, it's going to be like a transitional champion
Sure.
situation. I don't mind that for Sammy. I think it would be awesome.
Well, technically, they
but-
could win the title after the Saudi show and then drop it just before the next Saudi show.
They-
so you
they
can still
could,
get
but
most
then-
of the year.
But then it becomes like a predictability thing. Like it's going to happen.
Or if you've got two champions, you could always have just one of the belts defended on the Saudi show.
You could,
Yeah.
but I don't think the Saudi Prince wants it that way. I think he wants it all.
Yeah, well, fuck him, you can have it as you get to. Right, guys, so where are we going to go from here? Ezekiel, Kevin Owens, who are we going for?
It's got to be Kevin, right? I mean, the amount of work that he's put in. I know technically Ezekiel, in storyline purposes, should win this match, but I just feel like Kevin's earned this one because what has Ezekiel done to push this any further?
She must love you, Jim.
That's my girl.
Oh, getting a mystery tattoo. That's happening June 20th. Ooh.
Wrestling related too.
Look, it's cool.
All right. Hopefully it's in a place where you can share it with the internet.
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm taking Ezekiel here because if Ezekiel doesn't go over here, what was the whole purpose of this?
Yeah, yeah.
That makes
Do you know
sense.
what I'd love to see? I'd love to see.
Elias.
I'd like to say Ezekiel go over there, or Elias, yeah, do something like this, right? Then they have another match where if Kevin Owens loses, he's not allowed to fight him again. Then SummerSlam, Ezekiel versus Kevin Owens.
I want to see Elias or Ezekiel win because someone in a hooded mask comes out and hits Kevin Owens with the guitar.
Yeah.
To really further just send him into just complete crazy town. Just like,
Yeah. I
Drive
want to
him
see
insane.
Karen Owens. I do. I want to see Karen Owens at some point. How to get there, I don't know. Right, well, let's move on then, guys. We've got the next match. We've got a handicap match. Bobby Lashley versus Omos and MVP. Good call. Let MVP take the majority of the bumps now that he's well enough. Think Bobby probably pins MVP here for the win, protect Omos. What's your thoughts, Nick?
I think Bobby taps MVP out in the Hurt Lock. It's just this for me has been a story of Bobby Lashley trying to redeem his honor and get revenge on the man he believes screwed him over big time. And as much as they are pushing Omos, he doesn't need the win here. Like, I don't feel he needs the win. As long as he doesn't get beat, there isn't an issue. As you say, MVP can take most of the match now. So, I don't know. I mean, I like Omos. I don't hate on him as much as everybody else because he's huge and he's green. It's going to take him a while to get good. But Lashley needs to be pushed. Otherwise, he's just going to end up floundering back to the mid-card. And that guy proved over the last couple of years he is World Heavyweight Champion material and could very easily be groomed to be one of Roman's next contenders. Very easily.
I do feel like though that sometimes, you know, as has been the case with Drew McIntyre, you know, well, not everyone can be at the top and not everyone can always be challenging for the title. And I think this feud's done him good to kind of bring him down a little bit. I still think he's got a bit of time yet before he starts jumping back up again. Jim, what's your thoughts?
I think he does have time, and since we have Riddle, Orton, and Drew
Nakamura
in line for Roman, you have plenty of time to build him back up. He won the title over Brock Lesnar. He beat Brock Lesnar at the beginning of the year. He never lost his title because he got the injury in the thing. So he has a legit claim to a shot at Roman. The only thing that he needs is to kind of build himself back up as a top babyface. I don't see it happening by himself. I don't think he has it to get over as a babyface. I don't think it works. But prove me wrong. I think him and Roman could have a great match. I just don't know if Bobby is going to be able to get there on his own. I think it's going to take a lot.
I don't see the point in him getting there, though, Jimmy, either, just to be fed to Roman and lose again. I don't see him overcoming Roman, so it's like kind of leave him be for a little bit, let him shout about, and then he can make the comeback up again.
One of the things we talked about last year with the whole Roman Rock build was after WrestleMania, we didn't see any challengers for him to last for the whole year.
Yeah.
Well, now we have 4, if we throw in Bobby Lashley, to take up the rest of this year. So that's why I think Bobby is needed in this scenario. But I don't think they could just throw him in there just to throw him in there. He has to prove that he's a contender. And again, as a babyface, during this run in WWE, he has not proven that he can do it. It doesn't work.
Bobby Lashley is also one of the few guys who's allowed to get a haircut. I don't know why and how that makes sense, but just a random fact. What the fuck are you on about, Zane?
You need to get a haircut, Zane.
Right, Zane,
He's got no hair.
Does he not read anything like about John Laurinaitis insisting that everyone in WWE get their haircut once every 6 weeks? Then Vince kicking off. Bobby Lashley's bald.
Shave his head every day.
Hold on
He's
a
bald.
Jesus Christ. Well, while Jim's having a look at that, let's move on to our next one. We've got Raw Women's Championship, Bianca Belair versus Asuka versus Becky Lynch. Great match. Looks like it's going to be a good one. Again, we go back to what me and Jim have been saying about these B pay-per-views and the wrestling. Looks like a belter, doesn't it, Nick?
This should be an absolute banger, and by all rights, should be the best match of the night. Like Bianca, phenomenal. Becky, best character work in women's wrestling right now.
All of WWE.
Asuka, one of the best. Yeah, all of WWE. I'll give you that. Asuka, one of the best in-ring workers and the pandemic superstar that she was, that's finally getting back, and she's exactly where she should be back in the title picture. I cannot see this match disappointing. I can't see how they can screw this up with it being a triple threat. Bianca and Becky have got great chemistry. Becky and Asuka have got great chemistry. It's just whether Asuka and Bianca have great chemistry that I don't know yet.
So, Ian Jonathan says that he reckons Becky new world champion Sunday. I don't think that. I think the whole reason that thing is being popped in there, Asuka is to take the pin. I really do. Don't get me wrong, I think Asuka will make the match better because she's a really good wrestler and good technician, but I do believe she is in there to take the pin.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Ooh. Just to go back on the Bobby Lashley haircut nonsense for a second. Bobby Lashley has alopecia, so I don't even know if he can grow hair. So the whole haircut thing, Zane, is fucking dumb. Don't come in here with that stuff anymore, bro. Back to the match, though. I think the exact opposite. I think Becky Lynch is in this match to take the pin. We are going to send her down a rabbit hole where she just loses match after match after match to where she finally snaps and then she
turns back into the man.
Comes back, turns into the man. We get Ronda Rousey versus the man at WrestleMania. That's the story. You just have to get her there, and this is a perfect way to do it. And it also extends Bianca to Asuka till next month at Money in the Bank. A great women's match to have on your pay-per-view. So check Twitter. I don't need to check Twitter, Zane.
I don't know what thing he needs to go. Needs to turn heel. I think she'll be all right as she is. MJF needs to show up a Hell in a Cell and call out Roman Reigns. Yeah, I agree with that. I think that if MJF shows up there, fuck, we're awesome. And Thomas Franco, yeah, it is Tommaso Ciampa. It's me 10 years, so you dick with. So obviously he's 10 years old, so he doesn't spell very well. So fuck you. Right, so let's have a look at this one then. Becky, Asuka, Bianca, Jim.
I think Becky takes the pin from Bianca.
Okay.
Right,
I think Asuka takes the pin from Bianca.
Yeah, I think Oscar takes the pin from Bianca as well, but I like Jimmy's. If it happens, I'll be happy because I really like that. I really like that kind of formula, mate, and what it means behind the scenes. So,
do you realize how awesome the character work by Becky would be as she just goes completely insane?
Also, it would tie in to the probable main event of the show because it's public knowledge that Becky and Seth are a couple. And I think it would be absolutely adorable to watch them both descend into anarchy and insanity on television at the same time.
Yeah. Well, no, as you said there, though, Jim, it's like, I'm big time Bex. Well, I'll tell you what, while I've been big time, I forgot what I am, and I am the man. Bang.
Oh.
Yeah.
Job done. Perfect. Writes itself, doesn't it? David, where Beck takes the pin.
You melon.
As you can see, he's brought up correctly. So then we move on to our main event. We've got Cody Rhodes versus Seth freaking Rollins, as WWE like to point out all of the time. Going to be a belter. Going to be an absolute belter of a match. Don't know who's going to win this one, which I like, because normally if it's Seth's 1-1, Cody 1-1, it's a double match, but obviously Cody's won both the matches that they've had, builds it up nicely, and also I feel like with Money in the Bank round the corner, could they make Cody take the pin, knowing that they're going to put the briefcase on him and build, you know what WWE are like, they kind of think if they've got something big for you, then they don't care about you taking a pin just before they start building you again, so...
They like to tear people down before they build them back up.
Yeah. So, be interesting. What's your thoughts, Jim?
If this is the main event, I think something major happens in this match. I'm with you. I don't know. What does it say? Shut up with that stuff, Zane. Get out of here, bro. All this haircut talk. You need to go get a haircut.
Hey, Russ.
Hey, Russ.
I'm with you. I don't know who wins this. I have a feeling Cody wins it because I don't feel like you build him up this way. I don't think he's winning Money in the Bank. That's me. But I don't think you build him up like this just to have him lose the feud with Seth, because he would lose the feud if he loses this match. That's how it's nonsense as it sounds. That's how it goes. And then where does he go from there? Like it's already hard enough to think where he goes after beating Seth, but where would he go after losing to Seth? Like you send him down the card. That doesn't work for Cody if you're building him up as this big mega babyface. So I'm interested to see how they will book the end of this match. And if we're talking about a Bray return, since that's the talk, I think it happens in this match. The red circle is what I'm interested in. And everything comes full circle is how I take that. And the beginning of the downfall of Bray Wyatt's Fiend character was Hell in a Cell. It was all downhill from there. So we're back to Hell in a Cell. He's teasing the return. I think this would be an opportune place to do it. And him and Cody Rhodes would be a great feud. I think that would be a good place for Cody to go. Yeah. If the Fiend, Bray Wyatt, whatever he's going to be, comes back.
Yeah. Well, that's very interesting. Rush says Cody for the 1, 2, 3. WWE is being all in on Cody. Yeah, I agree with that. I just think, as I said, I'm not saying that Cody's going to lose this, but you understand my kind of reservations when they're going to push them onto the hill, as we've said before. They do make them take a loss and then rebuild them right back up. So it just wouldn't surprise me if that was the case. David says Cody wins. If Seth wins, then they'll all want to continue this. These two should move on after this. 100%. This has to be the last match between the two of them, David. Can't see this going on any further. Cody Rhodes takes the lame Money in the Bank. Simple Road cashes down the Royal Rumble on Reigns for the WWE Championship only. Well, that'll be interesting, won't it? Because if they turn around and say, when you're cashing the Money in the Bank in, are you cashing it in for both belts? Because that's what's going to be interesting, is do you cash it in for one, or do you have to pick a belt? And if they have to pick a belt, then that's a good way to get one of the belts off Roman, to kind of free them up again, because I believe that long term, it's not going to be the case that Roman will keep the belts forever, because I don't feel like the television executives are going to be very happy with it.
No, not in the slightest. It's difficult to say, but the thing is, Cody has said specifically that he wants the WWE Championship, not the Universal Championship. He wants the belt his dad never won, and that is not the Universal Championship. That is the WWE Championship. I see this match being an absolute banger, where at the end of it, Seth is descending into more and more chaos and mayhem because Seth friggin' Rollins is not being Seth friggin' Rollins at the moment, and he keeps losing to this newbie who's come in here into his house out of nowhere and is now taking his game away from him. So I don't think Seth's going to win. I think Cody's going to take this match, and I think it's going to send Seth into a downhill spiral. Oh, shut up, Zane.
I really hope he doesn't go into a downward spiral. I love the Drip God stuff too much.
Yeah. No. I want him to carry on being the Drip God, but I want him to have this maniacal edge intensified on him.
Okay.
Where he's more and more desperate.
Say, Jonathan Horowitz, if there is a fucking God above, then this is the match that we are going to see, my man, because I will be there in person to watch it.
No. The Universal title is not needed.
Oh no, they're not for the Universal belt. I just want the match. I didn't even, do you know what? I think I got that excited by just seeing Roman versus Rock. I didn't even see the Universal Champion on the end. Do you know what? They could turn around and put Roman Reigns versus The Rock in a bra and panties match, and I'd be going, let's have them at WrestleMania. I wouldn't even figure out what match. I wouldn't even see the stipulation. I'd just use me shit that much. But be good. I still think we're going to see The Rock at Clash of the Castle. I really do.
I hope so. And
do you know why I think we're going to? Do you know why we're going to see him at the Clash of the Castle? I think because you've got 70,000 people there. The Rock's just starting out in the XFL, and what a way to start trying to promote in the UK for your new sport.
Yeah.
And let's not forget, NFL has regular season matches in the UK quite a bit, so maybe we could see something else. Do you know what I mean? There's a promotion opportunity there for The Rock with his new.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Easily.
Which, let's face it, that's what's going to be the big deal for The Rock, is the XFL push, because it comes in not long after WrestleMania. So, you know, it's all this whole run with WWE is going to be about pushing the XFL is going to be the big thing with it.
Well, he's cleared up his schedule, hasn't he, for the first quarter of 2023. He's got no movies at all. But I think a large portion of that is because he's dedicating a lot of his time to the XFL, because he wants it to be a success, and his business 100%. Partners.
And I just think if you're in, because let's not forget, the Clash of the Castle is taking place in the Welsh Rugby Stadium. That is what it's well known for. That's what it's there for. That was what it was built for, and that's what they fill out more than anything else, is for the Welsh Rugby. You know, the Welsh national teams don't even play there in the football as much. It's more the rugby. So you've got 70,000 people there. The British press will be all over this event because it's a big event. It's the biggest one they've done. And if you're The Rock, so whether you attend in person or you do something by video link or you do something, I'm not saying he's going to have a match at Clash of the Castle or anything like that, but it'd be the perfect place for him to come out, have a blah, 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 and then say to WWE, right, I want XFL branding all over this.
Yeah, I completely agree. You would. At the very least, you'd think he'd want a sponsorship deal, like the way you have Progressive having their little match flow thing that they do every week. You'd think The Rock would want the XFL presents and then a little segment.
Clash of the Castle or something.
Yeah.
But, you know, it'd be a good one for him to do, as I said, and maybe we could see that. I don't know what his schedule is like in September.
That'd be fantastic.
It makes sense to, you know, and then maybe, I'll be honest, even maybe the Saudi show, not, you know, if not the first one, but the second one in the year, again, you know, you're promoting your new brand and it's taking it to a new country, and it's, you know, it's getting eyes on the product. Do you know what I mean? As I said, you know, we have, I think it's 2 or 3 regular season NFL games that happen over here.
Yeah. The
Rock might be thinking in his head, I could bring one of these to Cardiff, or I could bring one of these to Wembley, and, you know,
do pretty well business wise.
Yeah. So anyway, only time will tell. But I think that's it then, isn't it? So let's have a look. Cody Rhodes, Rollins. Who are you going for, Jimmy?
I'm just going to go with my theory. I think Seth wins after The Fiend gets involved. Or Bray Wyatt, not The Fiend, but Bray Wyatt gets involved.
Yeah. Okay, though. Rock versus Roman in the evening gal match, mate. I'd take it.
Yeah, don't care.
The Rock at the Rumble. Nick, what's your thoughts then? Cody or Seth?
Oh, it's got to be Cody. I don't see you cooling his jets this quick. He needs to keep winning, so I'm sticking with Cody. And I want to see Seth go insane. So
I'm going with Cody too.
Do you think Cody is okay if he takes the loss because of an outside interference from someone like Bray Wyatt?
Yeah, it protects him. It protects him.
If it's because of Bray. But I think if Bray's going to interfere, it's Seth that he's going to want to screw over because of that Hell in a Cell match.
I think Bray would have some kind of character where he would thank Seth for freeing him. The full circle.
Okay.
The full circle.
Okay. Yeah. I can see that.
It could be something along the lines of, Seth's tried to overcome Cody, he hasn't been able to do it. There's all this. Seth hasn't had a good run recently, has he? He's lost a lot of matches. He lost to Roman, he lost this, that, and the other. And Bray Wyatt's like, come with me, I'll set you free. And kind of next minute, them two are entangled, and there's something good that goes on there with them.
I like that.
A perfect scenario. Both Seth and Cody, they're standing, they're groggy, they've been fighting, they've had a war. Lights go out, lights go on. Bray's in the ring. Seth loses his mind, scared out of his mind. And then Bray looks at him, turns to Cody, takes him out, says, "You think?" And then he's like, "This is a real nightmare." Some silly little tagline to go in there with it, and it works. If Bray is involved.
Okay, well, Zion says Rock at the Rumble. Could be a good way to start it off, mate. I think they're going to start off the promotion before then if he's going to be taking part in WrestleMania. I feel like the Rumble, I feel like Royal Rumble, day one's probably a good point, or Survivor Series maybe.
I would like The Rock to win the Rumble.
No.
Come in at number 30 and actually win the Rumble. Because Roman refuses to face him otherwise.
I just don't like it.
Because I don't want the titles to be involved.
For no reason.
Okay.
Yeah. I also feel like the title doesn't need to be involved in this match because it'll give away the ending.
That's a good point. People said it'd give away the ending when Rock fought Cena and The Rock won.
But The Rock's not going to give that commitment.
I see The Rock showing up at day one because it's Nick Khan's baby and they're friends. So, hey, come day one. Let's get this program kickstarted first day of the year and go head to the races. And when Roman completely is like, I'm not going to give you a title shot, Rock could literally cost him the title to force Roman to face him, and then you don't have a title involved with that feud.
What if Roman is wrestling Cody at day one for the championship? Roman is looking at The Rock. He asks for the Usos for help, but the Usos refuse. Then The Rock comes down instead. Roman's like, oh my god, it's The Rock, it's The Rock. The Rock goes to hug Roman. Boom, rock bottom, walks out of the ring. Cody gets the championship. Protects Roman. Cody still looks good because he won the title as anybody wanted to. And it's a dusty finish, which would be quite classic for him.
I think with The Rock, if you're going to have him going against Roman, you should have him debuted first. So there's a scenario where Roman and Rock have had a face-to-face before any altercation happens. Because if The Rock does it, what's the point? It's like, no, I'm the head of the table. That comes across as heelish. Whereas if he confronts him, and then he's like, come on, Big Oos.
You're embarrassing the family.
And then then Roman says, you ain't on my level. You don't deserve this chance. Then The Rock costs him, and it kind of has a more clear story as far as...
Shawn Michaels Undertaker angle, if you will.
Yes. He's bald too, you idiot.
God's sakes, Zane. Is this...
Well, Jonathan John Howard says, Cody Rhodes vs Roman for the WrestleMania. Wash your mouth out with soap, John. Wash your mouth out with soap.
I think it's
Rock Roman at WrestleMania, and that's all we need to hear.
A funny thing that
I will be there to enjoy it.
This whole haircut shit that Zane keeps bringing up. My girl says that Eddie Kingston just reminds her of some like grubby ass hair barber. He looks like a grubby ass barber.
Jonathan Horowitz, we are not going to have any of this with the whole. It's going to be Roman versus Rock at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Jimmy is taking me to Disneyland, and then I'm going to watch that and live my childhood dream of seeing The Rock live at WrestleMania. So, nothing, nada.
Zip. Zero.
But on that bombshell, we will wrap it up, guys. Thanks so much for joining us.
Mood lighting, Jim.
Hell in a Cell, baby. It's coming.
Nice.
Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Join us again. We'll be back on Sunday for our normal weekly pod where we'll break down all the week's news. We've got a lot to break down this week. And I believe we may be having a watch along for Hell in a Cell.
Yes, we are.
Nick's going to be there with the captain and a few other guys. So make sure you tune in, guys, and join us for that. But from me, Jimmy, and Nick, until next time, guys, take it easy. Thanks, Russ. Appreciate you, mate. Appreciate you joining us, as always, as we do everybody else. So we appreciate every one of you watching, guys. Join us again next time on Sunday. We'll be live at 8 p.m. same time, same place. But from us for now, take care, Wrestle Buddies.